guys, it's M4J here and welcome back to New Gardcity here on City Skylines. Today I am injecting a little bit more magic into the Magic Roundabout. I'm also considering renaming the roundabout. It's currently called Laurel Circus. I think I might rename it to something less confusing. I mean, circus means circle, by the way, for those who didn't know that. That's why Piccadilly Circus and Oxford Circus are what they are. That's pretty my sentences today. Basically they're circular, so circus. I think circle and circus do come from the same derivative. I don't want to be a smart ass and claim that though, because it might not be true. Anyway, we're injecting some more magic into the Magic Roundabout. We are starting off with this, the intersection tool. In fact, first of all, we started off with the node controller, which you saw me use there. Basically, 90-degree turns on roundabouts are never a good thing. So to use the node controller to actually make the junctions a little bit smoother, it increases speed, so vehicles can get on and off the roundabout a little bit faster. It looks nicer as well, and it allowed me to add what I'm adding in now. Don't get too attached to what you're seeing on screen at this moment, because I do make a mistake shortly, which means I lose all of these lines and have to go back and do them again. But this is the intersection marking tool. It is a mod on the Steam Workshop and it is freaking awesome. So it used to just be you could paint lines, which you saw me do at the start here. Now it's been updated, so not only can you paint lines, but you can also fill areas. So instead of using props to fill in chevrons, you can now use the intersection marking tool to actually do it. And I think that is so awesome that that's now in the game. And I love the fact a lot of people say that the developers of this game are lazy because they don't put in these things as the base game, but I would imagine most of this stuff not so much hasn't been thought of, but they haven't got the time or the resources, or sometimes they genuinely haven't thought of it. So it's really good that they made the game moddable like they have, so that those who do have these ideas can add them in. I also like to imagine that the people who make these mods might either have the mod used in, say, a sequel, for example, or failing that, might even get a job with the developers. Who knows? But I know that it's a good system. It's all good. It's a very good system, and I love the fact that it endorses creativity. And that's something that I think a few people do forget sometimes, is just because it's not in the base game and it has to be added in as a mod does not mean that there's no creativity there from the developers, because they gave us the platform to build the mods in the first place. So it's all good as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, this mod is awesome. There are a couple of things that I would say about it though. You can save individual lines and individual fills as templates, but it would be nice if you could save junctions as templates, because that would have made this process a lot easier. So for example, what I'm doing now, it would have been nice if I could just copy all of this and then paste it onto all the other junctions, because every junction on this roundabout is the same. So it would have been good to have the opportunity to actually do that. But I mean, I'm nitpicking, to be honest. I'm very, very much nitpicking. I still think it's awesome, this mod, and that is basically the only issue I had with it. I suppose the other issue I had, it's more of a gameplay issue, is if you upgrade the road, which you'll see me do in a second, it resets the junction. So that was a little annoying, which is why I said don't get too attached to what you're seeing here. Although what you are seeing here is the template for what I then use for the entirety of the roundabout. If you're on my Discord, you'll see this already because I've posted some pictures of it. I think I did the final result as well, which I believe is the thumbnail. I think I actually remembered to take a photo for a screenshot for the thumbnail this week, which is surprising, because normally I have to reload the game again, sit there and wait for 15 minutes whilst the game loads up just to quickly snap a screenshot and then exit out again. It's painful doing that. But yeah, it's I like this. It's a bit bright right now as well. The colours, they're a bit bright, but I do tone it down. I think I reduced the... What does A stand for? I can't actually remember what the A stands for in RGBA. But I remove that, I halve it effectively, so it's not vibrant colours. Because imagine if you're driving, you get blinded by the road. That's not going to be very safe. So I've made it look a little bit more washed out. So it's still the same colours, but the whatever the A stands for has been tweaked down. just to make it look a little bit more faded, like it's been sat on a road that's under the sun all day, every day. Realism, basically. Realism makes it look a little bit more realistic. But yeah, this is stage 1 of injecting magic into the Magic Roundabout. Now, there was an idea that was posted on the Discord by, I think it was Andy, but I'm going to check very quickly. Oh, my laptop's disconnected. That's not good. Whilst I'm doing that, reconnecting that, I'll find out who suggested it. But the suggestion was this Magic Roundabout, as it were, is made up of 8 individual roundabouts. And the idea that was suggested is, why not make each roundabout dedicated to a district of an original district of the city, and then decorate it with that district's coat of arms, I suppose you could say. I really like the idea. I was going to do it for this episode. The reason I didn't is because I don't know yet what the 8 districts are, because I think I've only got 7 off the top of my head. Got Guard Square I'm not counting, because that's like an area within a district. But you've got Hunway, Halliday, Lafayette, St. Michael, South Bank, Shoreham, and I am missing one. I'm not including the Leisure District, because that's kind of an afterthought as well. But I think there's a couple more. But yeah, basically, I think I will add in like St. George as well, somewhere around the city. Just because, you know, St. George is one of the first things I build in OpenTTD, so it's only fair that I do the same thing here. But yeah, each roundabout will be dedicated to a district. So I need to find someone who's way more talented at drawing than I am to create coat of arms or sigils for each district of the city, and then I need to somehow replicate that using flowers or, you know, ground paint, whatever it might be, so that it appears in the game here. Right, I'm back online. Let's find out who it was. It was Andy. Yes, Andy HS leads with the suggestion. Could have each segment represent an original district to start with, then maybe dedicate each to a patron as time goes by. So I have 3 patrons now, which is awesome. Thank you very much, guys, for your continued support. I like that idea, though. Have it, maybe not have the segments of the roundabout go from being a district to being a patron, but definitely have patrons represented somewhere through decoration, as well as having the little patron town that I'm planning on building. So at some point in the future. Subscriber Island also needs to be redone. I know I keep saying that. It's boring by now. But yeah, little things like that. I like paying homage to those who've helped make these videos what they are. So that will happen. And I really like the idea of having each segment represent a district, because you don't really see that often these days. But it's a nice throwback to history. Kind of look back to look forward kind of thing. So yeah, really good suggestion. Will be doing that. Might need some help. I think that's the basic summary. I'm looking at this. I know that this roundabout gets reset, so I'm not too fussed. But you can see where I've got the line markings wrong. My strategy is to have the left lane be the filter from the right lane, if that makes sense. So you can see on the junction that I was just working on there, both main lanes go to the right hand side, and then the left lanes come off of that. Basically, the fast lane is the priority, and then the slow lane is the filter. That's how I always look at it. Some people might look at it differently, but that's how I look at it. I know on motorways it's the fast lane that always ends, and the middle lane becomes the fast lane. I never like that idea. For me, it always seems a bit dangerous to have the fast traffic merge with the slower. It should make more sense to have the left-hand lane be the one that ends. Because then you might have heavy goods vehicles and stuff moving over. Maybe that's why they do it the way they do it, actually, so that you haven't got lorries just swerving all over the road. But, yeah, I had a method. I stuck to it. Every junction you see on this roundabout is the same. So eventually what you will see is I replace the roads on the roundabout itself. Currently I use the UK one-way streets, but I replace them with tree-lined roads just to make it look a little bit nicer. And then I completely redo one roundabout, this roundabout in fact I think it was, because of the fact that the line markings were reset because I changed the roads. And then there's a cut. When you see me come back from the cut, I'll be working on phase 2. So I didn't want to do all of the markings on camera because I thought that would be too long a video. So I did. Yeah, this is me resetting it now. And that little gap there was me just going, oh no, when I saw that the markings had been reset. But yeah, the little cut was just so that I didn't have to do all of the markings on camera. It took me an hour, I think, in the end to do them all. And even this clip that you're watching here, I've shortened it to 15 minutes, but it was an hour and 20, I think. This series takes a lot of time. I don't think people realise that sometimes. Some people, I have had people ask me in the past for more than one City Skylines video a week. I am not a time traveller. I don't think I'll be able to do that, which is unfortunate because I do like the idea of it, but at the same time, I don't think I can do it, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, the second part of the video is probably the most favourite thing I've done in Skylines so far, because I was just experimenting at that point. I was just seeing what I could do with the node controller and intersection markings and just decorating in general. At the time, I was watching some time-lapse videos of other Skylines creators who are way better at the game than I am. And I was just sort of picking up ideas from what they were doing, and I like the ones where they talk about their philosophy as well. I know that's something, not philosophy, that's really not the right word, but they talk about what their thinking is, their ideology, that's the word I was looking for. It's something that I do a lot, and I know it's something that people enjoy me doing a lot, and I really do appreciate it when other people do it too. Because I've had people in the past on Skylines and Rollercoaster Tycoon and things like that, and they always say things like, I put a tree here for reasons. And if you can't explain it, then it's probably not justified, in my opinion. So, you know, I'll do my bit to explain why I've done what I've done in the second part. As I've already said, some of it is experimentation, so it's not all explainable. And maybe that's what these other people had as well. They couldn't explain it because they don't really know what they were doing at the time. It was just experimentation. But yeah, I'll try and talk you through it, because there's a lot going on. There's a new tram line that gets built through here. There's a lot of decoration. There's more trees. There's some elevated walkways. There's some underground walkways. There's a lot of stuff. And actually, this episode and last episode, you can see I'm experimenting a lot more with sort of traffic management and different transport routes. You know, getting trams to fit through certain gaps is a challenge that I'm greatly looking forward to in the future. Got some really good ideas for new tram lines. Got some really good ideas for new metro lines as well, or underground lines in this case. It's going to get an overhaul, let's put it that way. Also buses, imagining buses driving around some of these routes. I am still going to have dedicated bus lanes and rapid transit sections. But at the same time, I mean, roads like this, you don't really need to worry too much about integrating buses. It kind of takes care of itself. But some areas of the city will have dedicated bus lanes. Some areas of the city will have rapid transit, you know, grade separated bus lanes as well. And same with trams. Some will have the trams run along the streets, some will have the trams run along medians in the middle of the street, and some will have the trams running separate from the street. I really like the idea. Me and George were talking about this I think in an open TT. Oh no, it was in the premiere a couple of weeks ago. That's what it was. About having like Tramlink that I used to have in Cities in Motion, and sort of finding a way to bring that into this as well. That is something. Yep, I like that idea. I will be doing that for sure. And I think that will be fully grade separated. I won't be able to integrate it into the underground like I did in Cities in Motion, because it doesn't quite work that way. But I'll have them running pretty close to each other, side by side pretty much. So yeah, I like that idea too. Right, you can see me messing around getting the rest of this intersection done. It was, once I found a rhythm, it was quite easy to do. It was just a case of do the markings, make sure they were set up correctly, and then do the fill. I did save templates for this, which was helpful. Once I worked out how the templates actually work, it wasn't so much a case of these lines in this direction and then this fill in this color. It was more a case of this fill in this color, and that's your template. So whatever selection you then choose, you can still fill it in the same color. So it helps you keep track of dash lines and things like that, which just makes life a lot easier, let's be honest. I think I did that marking wrong at the bottom there. I believe, yeah. Just me check, yeah. Sorry, I get paranoid when I watch it back, because if I realise I've made a mistake, then I've got to go and fix it. And again, loading the game just to do something for 5 minutes and then closing it down again, it's not justified. If I'm going to load the game, it's going to be to record a video for an hour or two. But yeah, this is pretty much the end of the first part. You'll see me finishing off this junction, and then I'll come back in the second part for the next bit of the project. Alright, so we are back for the second section. As you might have seen at the very start there, all the junctions have now been marked. At this point I was a little bit worried that perhaps I'd gone a bit overkill with the junctions and it was a bit too bright and a bit too vibrant, but once I fill it in a little bit more, it kind of makes a bit more sense. But yeah, this is the new tram line I was talking about. So basically the current tram line that goes between Barnwell and Hunway, and then heads down towards Lafayette and then down towards Gloucester Gardens. I wasn't a huge fan, to be honest, of that layout. It wasn't to my liking, so I decided to reroute it this way instead. So we have this big roundabout. I thought, why not build a park in the middle? Maybe not an official city park, but just a nice decorative area. And it's right near the trade school as well. You can kind of see the trade school in the bottom left-hand corner there, of the bottom left corner of the screen. So I thought, why not actually build a tram stop here? Maybe build an underground station next to it as well. I hadn't decided on that at the time, but that might not be the worst idea. I did at some point consider building a railway station here, but that didn't really work out, so I kind of abandoned that plan. But yeah, I liked the idea of this tram line because it gave me an opportunity to practice with the node controller again and making these junctions work, look nice, that kind of thing. Like this here, for example, looks ugly as hell, but using Move It and using the node controller, they're just such good mods. Someone asked me in the premiere a couple of weeks ago, what mod would if I could have just one mod in the game, which would I have? And I think I chose Move It because of the versatility, but to be honest, it's a really unfair question to ask because there's so many good ones. You know, Traffic Manager, which I'm using here for various things, Node Controller as well, Intersection Marking Tool. That one's aesthetic mainly, but it's nice to have. Things like Move It, Procedural Objects, which I've not really used yet, but I kind of understand a bit more how it works now, so I'm looking forward to using it. What else? Metro Overhaul, that's also a big one. There's so many to choose from. It's really hard to choose. So it's a good question to ask. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's a bad question, but at the same time, it's a really tough one to answer. So yeah, it's a tricky one. It is a tricky one. But yeah, this tram tunnel here, not my best work to start with. It does look a lot nicer at the end though. I do fix it and make it look a little bit better. Node controller as well to make these junctions look a little bit smoother. Absolute genius. Whoever created node controller is just, you know, a walking god as far as I'm concerned. Walking, talking god. Because it's a game changer. It's a literal game changer. And the options that you know, the game gives, just like that. I mean, look at that. Look how much nicer that junction looks now. It's so good. The issue I still have with, mainly with Move It to be fair, but a little bit with node controller and just the game in general, is the fact that when you create these weird looking nodes, you have the grass suddenly pop up through, like the terrain just suddenly gets a bit warped. I'm not sure why that has to be a thing, but that does make my life a little bit trickier when using Move It. It took me a while to get this junction looking good, and even now, once I've finished, it still doesn't look brilliant. So there is that. I'm hoping the Metro bridge, the underground bridge, I've got to stop calling it Metro. I'm hoping the underground bridge does hide that a little bit more. Plus upgrading the road here did seem to help as well. You'll notice I'm using the tram road still with the cycle lanes. We have a lot of cyclists in the city. It's quite impressive. So I'm kind of making consideration for that. It's kind of, I mean, a lot of people have asked as well in the past about making the city eco-friendly. Encouraging cycling is a good way of doing that, to be fair. So I'd like to think I'm kind of hitting the right notes with that. But yeah, the tram line here gets a little bit weird down this section. I'll kind of make it run in the middle of the road here, without it being, what's the word I'm looking for? Like it's not, they don't share lanes basically. So it's still a one-lane road with a tram lane in the centre. Then I have the section where it runs through the centre of the other roundabout there. That is also going to be a tram stop, so it connects with the underground and bus hub that we've got built there. And then we've got the tram stop in the middle of what is currently Laurel Circus, but the Magic Roundabout. And then I think I do build another one somewhere else, but I have this one here too. This is a staggered stop. This is kind of, again, me going back to my Cities in Motion days. This whole green area that you see in front of the screen right now, this will all get built up in the future. The tram line will run through the centre of a built-up in residential area. And then, yeah, this tree-lined avenue. I thought this was a really cool-looking thing as well. I don't like the fact that the road there has the blue section. I don't know why it's done that. I think it's the tree-lined avenue that makes it do that. Yeah, it is. So that's kind of annoying. But it kind of works. When you put it on junctions, it kind of works. So I'm not too upset with that. And then just build a little street here. I don't know why I built it in that style, because I do change it. There we go. I think I make it 2-lane. But yeah, having the tram stop staggered like this, I thought was a really cool thing as well. Because it's something I used to do all the time in Cities in Motion, and I've not really done it here because I've always had the tram run right next to each other and have the two platforms right next to each other. So having this here is quite nice. You also have the dedicated turn lane in the tram line as well, so it does kind of share, which I'm not too upset by. I think that kind of works. But yeah, I did say this second part was a bit more experimenting, and this is why. This big empty roundabout, even when I built it and I looked back, I just looked at it and thought, it's a bit empty. I could do with filling it with something. So the tram stop here was step 1. I was going to build this underground railway as well, railway station, but I decided against that. I will still build a railway station here, because this is the line that then runs down towards towards the freight terminal, cargo terminal. So it was a good thinking to try and build a station here, but I think I might build it on one of the side streets instead. Maybe to the south side of the trade school, and have the railway then run either alongside the motorway or down the middle of the motorway. I think that would look quite cool. But yeah, filling this with trees. So this is, I think, where the suggestion came from after I posted the screenshots, because one of the screenshots I posted was just basically what you're seeing now. And I like the idea of filling in the smaller roundabouts with flower decorations, maybe putting a little bit of terraforming in there as well, so that when you're approaching the roundabout from the main roads that run out of the magic circle, the land will be sloped up so that you can see it. And then, you know, like King's Island and Disney, they have the flower decorations that they either spell out things, or I think, is it King's Island that has the calendar that updates every day? So that's someone's job, by the way, to move those flowers around every day. That's incredible. Floral calendar is what they call it. But yeah, I like the idea of having each one represent a district of the city, or at least one of the original 8 districts of the city. I think that's a really cool idea. So that will be happening. That will be happening. But yeah, I'm experimenting with the tree brush here. Variety really is what I was missing here. I had quite a few ticked, but it still wasn't placing down a huge variety. But already you can see what difference it's making. And even when I posted some screenshots of the city on Discord and on the City Skylines Reddit quite a few months ago now. And some of the feedback I got there was, needs more trees. And you're right. You know, I cleared out a lot of the trees in order to see what I was doing. But it's definitely good criticism to mention the fact that most cities do have quite big green spaces with lots of trees. And rocks in this case too. Because effectively this tram line has been dug out of the ground. So where did the rocks go? Well, here they are. Not every rock is moved. You know, some do stick around. But yeah, putting trees around, putting some rocks around. You will see me put some pathways around as well in a second. Basically, this is a tram stop that currently has no connections. So I wanted to fix that. So right here, I build 2 exits to the tram station. One is this direction, which sort of runs north-ish towards the main road, which you'll see in a second. Here. And then it surfaces like so. There we are. And then the second one connects directly to the trade school. And that's the one I think most people will use. Plus, I mean, I don't know if you can stop this from happening. I don't think you can. A lot of people are using it as like a shortcut between the trade school and the main roads, which means they're crossing in front of trams, or they will be crossing in front of trams. But I don't really think you can stop that, because I want people to be able to cross the tram street. Because if they're coming in from one direction and they want to cross the road to get on the other tram, they should be allowed to do that, really, without being stopped. So you just kind of have to leave it, I suppose, and hope that it works. This is me trying to build the second one. It really didn't work because of the land slope here, so I abandoned that plan and I actually built it here, because I realized that this section here, I wanted to connect it directly to the administrative building. That was the issue here. So I realized this would work if I built it here. Had to use a little bit of anarchy in order to make it work there. But I actually kind of like the way this turned out. I think it looks really cool. I think people will clip through the wall a lot though, which isn't the best thing in the world. But oh yeah, I lost the rocks. You'll see me replace those though. But yeah, it works. That's the main thing. It works. And already, like as soon as I built it, even I could see people were starting to walk around and actually use it, which is awesome. Again, I mentioned about the cycling. The number of cyclists now who use the new roads that I've built in this episode is really, really good to see. Because you can get from Shoreham now right the way across to Bankside. Is it Bankside? Yeah, I think it is Bankside, the other district. Just on your bike. You don't have to use buses or trams or trolleys or anything like that. And I think that's really cool. So I'm quite happy with that. I will have to cover up. I think I might plop a building down or something to cover up this weird tunnel thing here. I couldn't really work out what to do with that. So I'll find something to fill it with, even if it's just trees and bushes and stuff. I'll fill it with something. But yeah, just look how different this looks now. I think it looks incredible. And the way the traffic flow works is also quite nice. I do remove the traffic lights here so that vehicles aren't stopping. I'm still trying to get rid of that weird patch. I think I just end up leaving that little dirt bit and say that's fine. It could be a lot worse, let's put it that way. I haven't tested this with trams yet because I haven't finished the other side of the tram line once it goes into Shoreham. Basically, Shoreham needs to grow first before that becomes a thing. And I was thinking of building another port, like a cruise terminal, down in Shoreham, down at Shoreside, which is going to be the new district, as well as a little bit of industry. So having the tram line go down there means people can commute to work every day. This as well, making sure that the cycle lane here is exclusive to the, in this case, the top side of the screen. Again, it's just about flow. There's no cycle lanes around the roundabout, so I wanted to get people off the main road as fast as possible so they can then, cycle safely, segregate from the rest of the traffic. So Barnwell and the trade school will have cycle lanes put through it, if it hasn't already. I don't think it has, so I will be doing that. Plus, I'll be adding some other little things here and there, just so that the cycling, basically encouraging cycling, safe cycling too. And with that, you'll see me build very shortly a bridge. In fact, this is me getting ready to build it here. Again, allowing cyclists to cross the road here so they can use the cycle lanes correctly. That was something that I was very keen to ensure happened. We've got a bit of a weird junction layout here. I might have to use the node controller again just to smooth it out a little bit more. But again, it's not the end of the world, let's be honest. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, here, right, big bridge. So I wanted to actually connect this to the center where the tram is. But in the end, I thought that's probably not going to work. So I tried to make it conform to the shapes of these roundabouts as best I could. It kind of looks a little bit random, but it looks like it was built in a hurry. Which is kind of like, imagine in real life there's a lot of traffic incidents, so they come up with a quick temporary solution. That's kind of the idea I was going with, and I was still kind of experimenting with where can this route go. So I can use move it to kind of reshape it if necessary. I kind of like the jankiness of it. It kind of fits the bill quite nicely. I do add some other connections as well, so people can go from different streets up onto the bridge. The idea is to stop people walking around the roundabout and actually use the bridge. So it's for cyclists and for pedestrians. Plus the underground subway is also for pedestrians. I'm not sure if that works with cyclists. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But yeah, just to get people off the street and up onto a grade separated walkway or down to a grade separated walkway. That was the plan. And it looks like it was a bridge that was built quite hastily and then expanded over time, which is also part of the plan. That was what it's designed to look like. So again, imagine there's been quite a few traffic incidents over the years, and the response was to build this. And it connects to quite a few different roads. I was considering building it round the entire roundabout, and I might still do that. But I filled in the gaps that the tunnels didn't fill in, if that makes sense. I have got cyclists on the path here. I might remove that just to encourage them to actually use. So make it so that cyclists are banned from using the sidewalks, so that they have to use either the cycle lane or the segregated pathway. But yeah, that pretty much does it for this episode, guys. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and of course if you're enjoying the series, drop some comments down below with ideas for future episodes. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you guys for your continued support, and until next time, I will see you soon.